One of the top questions that people come to me with is, how do you get over approach anxiety? How do you approach? Where do you approach? What did you say? Is it even legal? Well, I'm going to talk about what Dr. Zhana, a PhD in psychology, says about all of this. And then at the end, I'm going to give you a few of my bro approach tips. So the first thing Dr. Zhana reminds us of is that we used to find sexual attraction and flirting everywhere, just as a part of our natural everyday lives. In the supermarket, on the street. But with the invention of dating apps and a heightened awareness in the Me Too movement, flirting has really been relegated to just a few designated flirtation zones. And what are those? It's apps, clubs, and certain social situations. Anytime that you attempt to approach any place outside of one of those places, you're really setting yourself up for a sexual harassment case. And this is really troubling to Dr. Zhana for a couple of reasons. And the first thing is, sexual desire and attraction is a fundamental part of human nature. It's not healthy to live in a world where you are afraid to be able to express that part of your very natural, very healthy attraction and desires. And a second reason is that approaches are not welcomed and meant to be looked at as sexual harassment only because there's not mutual attraction. And sexual harassment cannot be determined by the return or the mutuality of the attraction. It can only be based on the approach alone. But the problem is, a lot of guys approach in ways that are very hostile or outright abusive even. And so the solution, therefore, is not to ban flirting, but rather to educate people on how to correctly and respectfully approach. And also, hopefully, charmingly and wittily and successfully as well, if you ask me. So, I'm going to give you a few of my insider approach tips that I use whenever I'm approaching. And I'm going to give you a few tips on how to receive approaching, how to act whenever people are approaching you as well. So the first do is, whenever you're approaching, is stay grounded and calm and confident. Yeah, you might be a little bit excited, but you don't want to bring that excited, erratic energy to the approach. You want to create that calm, warm, friendly feeling. And so that brings up the second thing, which is assume rapport. Assume like you're just talking to a friend. You know this person and you've had a relationship before and you're going to continue to have a long and warm, friendly relationship going forward. You're just kind of there as friends. That's the energy that you want to bring. And the third thing is, and like this one is got a lot of psychology behind it, but it's show your hands. A lot of times whenever we get nervous, we tend to want to put our hand behind our back or in our pocket, something like that. But we want to show our hands. It shows confidence. And also psychologically, the person that you're talking to, whether they know it or not, somewhere in their head, if they can't see your hands, they're wondering, what are you hiding? What are you holding on to? What are you about to bring out? And that's not the energy that we want to bring. So some don'ts. Don't interrupt their space harshly and negatively. Be respectful if they're on the phone or if they're clearly engaged in something that's important. You can wait and find a time that's good for you to make your approach. And second, whenever you're getting their attention, don't get all up in their space and definitely don't touch them. Right? You can get their attention naturally from a good, safe distance. And the third's got some psychology behind it, but it's don't block their exit. Because their limbic system, their reptile mind, if they get excited and you're approaching them, they don't know why. And so they're going to have a heightened sense. And so there's a part of them that's going to be looking for the nearest exit. And you don't want to be the thing that's in between them and that exit. It's not the energy you want. So some do's for being approached, right? So the first thing is use your intuition. I know it's going to be sort of exciting whenever you're being approached and you want to tense up, but also you want to use your intuition. And if it's genuinely an unsafe situation, an unsafe energy, get out of there. The second is be as compassionate but authentic as possible, right? But you want to be assertive and very clear with your intentions, with your yes or your no. But you can do that with a with a amount of compassion. And third thing is have fun. Receive the compliment, right? Obviously, somebody's taking time and energy, and it's tough to approach somebody. So, and they're showing interest in you, and there's something that's attractive about you. So have fun, receive the compliment, nothing else. Some don't shame or embarrass the person unnecessarily, like only as a last resort if they're coming up with some really whack energy that feels dangerous. But there's no need to shame or anything like that. Like if you're going to turn them down, then you can do that with as much compassion as possible. The second thing is lie. Don't lie. There's no need to do that. In fact, a lot of times I know it's very enticing to want to say things like, oh, I have a boyfriend, or I don't have time to date. And if that's not true, then I wouldn't say it. And even if it is true, but that's not the reason that you're turning them down, then you have to go into a lot of detail of why and the reason, but just let them know that you're not interested. And then the third thing that you don't want to do is put up with disrespectful behavior. You know, if you're into it and you're able to, then, and people come at you with disrespectful behavior, then maybe that's a teaching point in time for a lesson and you can redirect their behavior. But as always, safety first, use your intuition. And if you need to, get out of there. So that's what I've got for you today. Hopefully this will help you in your approach game and also being able to receive approaches. So let me know how this has affected your approach game. And do you like approaching? And do you like being approached? That's what I've got for you. We'll see you next time. Remember, bliss is your birthright. Zoom out.